That does not make it. Does not make it by 4.
Hmm. Hmm. Roll me another D100, please.
Okay.
You can't think of anything. Well, there's too many other examples, right?
Mhm.
But then maybe it's something that was said maybe in the past, but you're getting a hint that you might want to ask Lee to see if he can't detect any magic around the area.
All right. Let's see. No, he would probably do that without a second thought. He.
Okay, sure. Lee takes a while to get roused, and he says, well, you're going to have to land this thing. I can't detect it from inside this tin can.
We'll certainly oblige. He's curious enough.
Okay, okay. And goes out, and he goes, yeah, residual, but it exists. There's magic energy around the broken down trees for sure. Now give me another monster and lore check, Patrick.
That makes it.
Okay. Magic vehicle, perhaps, or magic creature. No tracks, moves trees. Can probably fly. Plus, James T has been talking about sploogies. If you were a betting man, it wouldn't surprise you if a Splagorth slave barge passed on by here. A slave barge is a barge that is controlled by one individual, one monstrous individual that is grafted onto a vehicle made of. It's like techno wizardry in a sense. Actually, for your mind, you can only consider it's like a techno wizard sphere that it is grafted onto. And on this sphere are weapons and other personnel that rotates around it. And it is extremely strong. It can hover, fly, and it maybe crash through this woods pursuing something or just for the hell of it. But yeah, if all clues point to that.
Oh.
Do you want me to give me more description of the Splagorth slave barge? Because I kind of was vague on that shit.
Um. If you have a picture, I think everyone would love to see that.
Oh, sure. Why not? We want to see a picture. I'll give you a picture.
I
You know what
love
the best?
picture books.
Well,
Yeah.
well, here's the best thing. Since I kick it old school,
Dr.
I
Seuss.
no, I have this book, although there has been a revised Ultimate Edition. I will paste it in all the chats.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
That is a
it is
Splagorth
that.
slave
Oh,
barge.
it's I
Yeah.
I
The
see that
cover.
every time I open the
We've
book up.
all seen that. This is mind blowing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a Splagorth slave barge, and you think probably one of those suckers came on by.
So those are slaves, not people who were wanted to have a
Ask
good time.
Patrick. Actually, well, Patrick would know that legends or eyewitness accounts that he has read implies that those are kind of slaves and kind of warriors. They're also reportedly beautiful, blind, and deadly.
I see.
Wink.
Nudge, nudge.
Wink.
Um,
Nudge? What the fuck are you nudging?
I don't know. The deadly
All right.
part.
Oh my. Okay. Anywho, you guys want to do anything else with that new knowledge?
Well, here's a out of character, and well,
Yeah,
actually,
lay it
no,
on me.
I would say this should be in character.
Okay.
So, you said this might be a Splagorth slave barge, and James T has talked about sploogies. Do we have any idea if these are the aliens Tyrath has sent us to deal with?
I don't think he actually asked us to deal with aliens, but let's see if I can't think of any particular
Well,
That'd be
technically,
really specific.
technically, he asked us to get something that they were
Harvested.
controlling, which generally will mean we'll have to deal with them or be very sneaky, one way or the other.
Well, yeah, hold on. If it's a fungus, do they either need fungus or do they have fungus?
I can use my magical GM powers and tell you, with a possible skill check, there, Patrick.
All right. I have magic lore and botany.
Yeah, do actually give me both those rolls, baby.
All right.
All right, no magic lore part. Try the fungus part. Okay, extra fungus.
Wow.
All right. Okay. So,
What?
oh boy, now here's me as a GM rationalizing this. So fungus needs to grow in wet climes, right? It needs to be. Tyrath mentioned it needed to be harvested, right? Which means these aliens are some types of farmers that harvest this fungus, right? Splagorth are not known as farmers and harvesters unless the harvesters are sentient lives and the reaping is collecting slaves. They don't harvest fungus. They are not known to harvest fungus. They are known to capture people and bring them back to Atlantis.
Atlantis.
Yeah, which is an actual place.
Yeah, it's an actual place.
Which Patrick would also educate you on.
Just for a brief quandary,
Mm-hmm.
didn't Pamel come from Atlantis?
No, she did not.
All right.
We are still determining the exact location. She came through a rift. She came from another world. She is not from Atlantis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Why Aquaman so pissed?
Oh, well, here. Maybe I'll tell you just some basic stuff about Atlantis that you would know.
All right.
Atlantis rose from the sea, which is probably one of the reasons why a lot of the East Coast is submerged in water, including most of what used to be Florida. This dinosaur swamp, where those, that little baby T-Rex, which wasn't a T-Rex, that's where it would be from. Atlantis has been occupied by aliens. The most, of course, is the Splagorth. No one really knows what a Splagorth looks like. We're assuming, many people just assume, and fairly so, that the individuals in the center of that picture of that slave barge, those kind of blind eel-like creatures, those are Splagorth. And they are known for raiding the eastern coast. They do take slaves, and no one ever hears from them ever again. And getting to Atlantis is extremely difficult because you either have to fly or you have to sail. Both means that there's a chance of... You know that ley line storm that you were part of?
Yes.
Well, sailing sometimes gets by the Bermuda Triangle, which is that times 100. And they could be also very deadly, of course. There are all sorts of manners of DBC creatures and DB flying creatures that can intercept. And why anyone would want to go to Atlantis, because it's filled with monsters, horrible magic, and slavery. It's just not really... It's a hostile place. The Coalition itself knows a little bit about it, but they have bigger fish to fry.
Mm-hmm.
So,
They
of course, for
probably-
Atlantis? No.
They probably know enough about Atlantis to leave it the fuck alone and just worry about where they are right now.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
actually a very apt thing. Yeah, so... Yeah. Splagorths. Sploogies, and they have a bunch of nicknames that James T. rattles off.
Right.
For any gaps of knowledge that you wouldn't know, Patrick, James T. would happily share.
All right. Well, everyone knows the information now. Oh, let's see. As much as... Actually, how far away is this particular um, slave
Barge?
barge. Yeah,
You can't see the barge. You only see where it was.
I mean, like, since we're here on sort of like East Coast ish.
How far away are you from the coast?
Yeah, I was more of like how like is this something that like might be their territory, or is this sort of like
Yeah,
really
this
far?
could be the, well, if you think, well, yeah, Fifth. I mean, if Patrick is right,
Mm.
and this is a Splagorth slave barge, then Splagorth slave territory is wherever the Splagorth want to be. So if the Splagorth were here, yeah, you might be in their territory.
Okay. So I will relay that information.
Good call. Good call.
um,
But we can continue on with the traveling if you guys want, unless you want to talk more about slave barges, Atlantis, and Splagorth, and all that good stuff.
I think Al would be very disturbed at the idea of a barge full of slaves. However, he's not exactly going to go run everyone into danger to go play hero. So, unless anyone else has something, he will just take it noted and keep a better eye out.
okay. At this point, I think it would be a good time to see maybe a general position to that ruin that he has been eyeing for a while.
The ruin?
He had like he had like a position on his map that he marked from Sam Max.
Oh, Max. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't confirm this. When you got to that tunnel,
Mhm.
that's the place.
Oh,
I am so sorry. I was so wrapped up in the giant brain. I forgot to confirm that for you.
okay.
You have reason to believe that Behemoth was made in that facility. Or that's when its first ping was recorded.
Oh, wow.
I'm so sorry. I didn't notice. I didn't mention that.
Okay.
I am so sorry. So yeah, you've been there.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh shoot. So I don't think he's going back there unless he wants to stop the robot menace.
I'm gonna
Which
grab a drink of water. I'll be right back.
she may do. You know, I don't know how friendly Splagorths are. It looks like they're fairly aggressive with slaves. Here's a very odd idea, and we'll see how people enjoy this or not. But technically, we could go back to the robot place, and if possible, be able to, since the computer room is down for the most part, try to re-enable. This is what I wanted to do back then, but it's, again, I'm playing as Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to do things that I, as a player, like, I wanted to do this, but it's like Patrick's doing something else.
Do we want to set this as in character or out of character? Out of character?
well, this is out of character.
Okay, out of character. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, we would basically have to turn around and go
Yeah.
back.
But we have to do the James T first.
Yeah.
I, as a player, certainly wouldn't mind that at all. I can tell you, as a character, Al would bring up the fact that that place is still crawling with robots that are, if our friend
Yeah.
outside is anything to judge by, still active, which means that if we go back, we will have to come up with a better way of dealing with these things because they are beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Just one of them is a bitch to take down.
Yeah. I mean, now that we know that the behemoth was from there, it might be fun to check it out a bit more, but
So like, all for it, we would just need to prepare.
yeah.
Um,
If we had Mila with power armor, it would be way different than last time.
Well, but see, not so much, because here's the thing, Burn. We didn't actually have to take down any of those robots. We didn't stop one of them. And there were 6 and 3 dogs. And remember how long it takes to take just one of these down. I'm not saying we couldn't win, but it's certainly not a fight I'd want to walk into without some sort of ace up my sleeve.
Well, we still technically have the voice changer.
That
Which did nothing.
I know it didn't
yeah.
work. I know it didn't work, but that was after its head got destroyed and stuff. Remember?
yeah, I Patrick is willing to try what other people suggest, but by himself, I don't think he's gonna.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm inputting, because we're out of character. If we're in character, Tom wouldn't be there.
My
Yeah.
suggestion would be things more like, if we're gonna go assault that base, find ways to bring a bit more firepower, or set up killing good zones and lure them into it. Like, for example, make traps and lure. You know what I mean? Like, I just wouldn't want to walk into that computer room like we did last time, because we may not walk out of it again.
Yeah.
But as a player, I love the idea. Even as a character, I think that being able to stop the robots for good is a worthy task to take on. Is just the practical side of Al would be like, we need some sort of overwhelming force if we're going back in there, or some sort of advantage that we did not have last time.
Yeah, and I still want to do this after we get rid of James T.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is Kriana?
I'm here.
Hi.
I wasn't at
Hi.
the base. I don't care. I'll go wherever you guys want me to go.
Okay.
Will you go to
That's
Kokomo?
the spirit. No,
I'll go to Kokomo.
All right,
Okay.
fine. You go wherever we want to
Back
go.
on-
I am setting Behemoth course for Atlantis. We can walk on
No.
the ocean floor, right?
Yeah, I saw the movie.
Okay.
Out of
wait.
character.
We're
Out of
digressing.
character. Atlantis is a whole bunch of fun times and happy things, and cool stuff. But fuck that. Let's do something else, please.
All right. How about this? How you guys can continue your course to Flint?
For the time
yeah.
being, I think yes.
I would like
All right.
that.
Let's continue to Flint then. Let's
Right.
put a pin in the whole Atlantis idea.
No,
Just
I was
continue down your
joking.
trajectory.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you were. I know you were. But are we done with the what to do next discussion?
I think
Are we
yes.
good to
Yeah.
continue? Okay.
Yeah.
Groovy. So you once again, it is just a little after dinner time, maybe about 5:30 or so. It is still raining, but you come back to the town of Flint. Now, if you like, I can give you guys another basic description of it, since it's been a little while. Would you care for that?
Sure.
Sure.
actually.
Yes.
Okay. So Flint is a simple town. You're thinking of a population of a few thousand. It has 2 main thoroughfares going straight through the center of the city, which it looks like it has a collection of buildings which are made of both wood and stone. There doesn't seem to be any wall around the area, and other than a central downtown area that it looks like, there are scattered homes encircling this core center. In addition, in the outskirts of the town is a tent city, something that reminds you of the slums of Chi-Town, where a lot of temporary housing has been constructed. From what you can tell on the approach, since this is the second time approaching, those of you of a tactical mind, notice that the basic militia has some very basic laser weapons. Their body armor, although there are a few newer models, most of it looks like either partial body armor or something that has been homemade from hides or from various jerry-rigged materials. You've seen one viable set of power armor to defend this town. So you would be able to find a place to park. And would it be fair to assume that you guys would at least enter the town proper and explore around it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, as you disembark, you park far off to, we'll say, the southwest of the town, and you approach the south gate. But of course, in order to do so, you must permeate this circumference of this temporary housing, these tents. And as you do so, in the pouring rain, you can see firsthand It's not quite squalor. Everything looks clean and somewhat orderly, but the people look miserable. A lot of them look pale, dark eyes peeking in from ratty tents. You hear cries of children and moans of hunger. You are able to see people almost shrink away from you as you pass through them, especially with James T. in your midst. As you get closer to the gate, however, a small happenstance catches your gaze. A few, I'd say about 50 feet or so off to the west, you notice a line of people around this larger green tent that has tables in front of it. And on those tables are these big metal pots, and these wooden bowls are being scooped into some sort of, from the distance that you see, some sort of gruel or a very base stew or a type of soup. And there's a massive line for this food. You count already in the line people standing soaked, drenched, their tattered clothes clinging to their skinny forms. Probably in upwards of 80 people. A few young individuals, probably in their late teens or early 20s, are giving strange smiles as they dole out these bowls of food to the individuals in line, until you do hear near the front of the line a male gruff voice saying, "Not this again! Come on, you need to give us something with more substance." And you hear a young tinny voice reply, I'm sorry, this is what we were told to give you." And you start to hear stirring in the crowd, more angry voices, more demands for better food, more pleas for mercy and for help, until this rabble starts to get a little bit louder and more disjointed, and even one of the bowls is thrown towards the front of the tent. Now, sorry, I took a pause just to see if you guys wanted to do anything, but I can continue on because you guys do see more if you choose to.
Yeah,
Should I continue on describing? Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I would say this: as long as actual violence has not broken out yet to where people
Nope.
could get hurt, then keep going.
Okay, yep. No violence, just a lot of disgruntled, angry rabble arousing, for lack of a better word, even though we shouldn't call these people razzle. They look very pathetic. But finally, stepping through the tent near the front is a woman who looks like she's in her early 40s. She looks to be, she is Caucasian. She is dressed in a yellow shirt and brown trousers, and the yellow shirt itself has this kind of golden inlay around the seams. And she raises her hand, and she says in a firm but gentle tone, "I am sorry. I know you are suffering. I know you have come from difficult times. But I'm going to be honest with you. We didn't prepare for this many people. If we did have the supplies, we would give you better food. But this is all we can spare for free. It is a hot meal. You get it 2 times a day without asking for anything in return. Eventually, I promise we will come up with a long-term solution for you. But for now, I ask for your patience. If those of you who have items you wish to trade for better food, if you have skills that you wish to indulge in to help us to rebuild your community, then please do so. But in the meantime, I ask for your patience. We will not let you starve, although hunger still might bite you. I am sorry. We will do our best, and we will get through this together. You are now a part of Flint now. We will treat you as such as soon as we can. And with those words, the crowd dissipates. They calm down. They get their food in an orderly manner. And with that, the young man who initially was dealing with the confrontation of the upset individuals, those of you who have keen hearing would hear him say, "Thank you so much, Elder Trader Deanna. Thank you so much, Miss Straw. I was afraid what would happen." And you hear that same firm, soft voice reply, "It's okay. Just understand they're not angry with you. They're just in a bad place right now." And that pretty much ends the scene of what you guys see. There you go.
I have a curious question. Actually, you mentioned it. I never even thought about it. Obviously, I don't have the enhanced hearing or anything I used to have.
No.
Do elves have the same hearing humans do naturally? Is it better, worse? Like, I know eyesight
I'd have
supposedly.
to look into it.
Mhm.
I'll
But
have
for
to
now,
look into
just
it.
assume not.
But for now, yeah, just assume it's normal.
Okay.
And if it is keener, we'll just say this temporarily, maybe it's the body transference that's messed with your hearing just a little tiny bit.
Got it.
Right?
And that's absolutely fine.
Because I don't want to take some time and look into it right now.
Mhm.
I'll find out and let you know.
Okay.
But I
And
don't
I'm
know
also
if this
fine
has
with doing
anything-
it like roleplay, like we do with the eyes, where elves have better eyes, but we're not going to really make it a matter.
Yeah,
too
we're not
much
going
when
to
it comes
change your
yeah.
character because you.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Al would say to the others, I'd like to find out what's going on, guys.
Go for it.
Okay.
And then Al would try to approach the woman that was talking, if
Okay.
it's possible.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. She's still there by the tent. Looks like she's overseeing things. She gestures for you all to come inside to kind of get out of the rain if you're going to be conversing with her. She has dirty blonde hair with a little hint of strawberry in it. Like I said, she looks like she's in her 40s. A very stout woman as well. Not very svelte, but back in the day, there were frontiers women. You know what I mean? They wouldn't win any modeling contests, but they were women who could look after the kids, chop the woods, like hunt, like build a shack. Like they weren't like little dainty Victorian flowers. They were women who got shit done. With her hands and with her voice and her body, she looks like one of those women.
Right.
Fair enough?
Mhm.
Anyways. So go ahead and breach the conversation if you like.
Al would say, I'm sorry to impose, but we're travelers and we're just stopping by. What happened?
She introduces herself as Deanna Straw, and she replies, "Well, I'll spare you the gruesome details, but suffice to say, these individuals are refugees from a town, a kingdom," she says, "called Greencastle. They have been mistreated by their liege, by their queen, and her son, and they have fled violence and found safety with us."
Al will nod and say, so I heard what you were saying there. Obviously, you're having trouble meeting all their needs.
Mm-hmm.
Has it caused much violence, or are they just scared?
They're scared and they're tired, and although there are a few individuals who lash out with violence and theft, most of them are good people, and therefore we haven't had much trouble. Other than just finding enough food for them, getting enough to serve Flint and ourselves. You said you're stopping by. May I be forward enough to ask what you're looking for?
Well, this is going to sound a bit odd, but we have and he hesitates ever so briefly, traveling companion who is, well, he's in need of help, and we're not exactly sure the best way to go about it. And James T is there, so he'll kind of motion towards him and say, we were hoping to find maybe a techno wizard, or failing that, perhaps a house of healing who might be able to, and he'll kind of lower his voice, he is as broken mentally as he is physically. And if we were to just leave him, he would probably perish. But for reasons that are our own, we obviously cannot keep him with us. He has soured too many moods.
She actually flinches a little bit at James T as he mutters and gives a smile and asks, stew looks good. Who did you put in there? Type of thing. As she flinches slightly and she pries her eyes away from the half man. And she looks to you and she says, we have nothing in Flint that could help him. Even if we could spare it. There's only one location I think that could help you, but I don't think in good conscience I could recommend it.
Why?
She pauses. Because it's in Greencastle.
Oh.
It is not, although you might be treated fine because you clearly have weapons and armor and resources. They do not treat their people very well. And I would not be comfortable sending more people their way to give them more business. They don't deserve it. You understand?
I do understand your point of view, more than you can know. But his mind is shattered, his body is broken. If he doesn't get help, he will die. What matter the source from it comes? Sorry, let me try that again. What does it matter who helps him if they can help him? I understand what you're saying, but... And he kind of just trails off.
Don't go to Greencastle, she says. Stay, She pauses for a moment, she flounders, and she starts asking you guys some questions. Wait. You said you were travelers. Where did you travel from? And anyone from the group can answer if you wish, but she asks. Where did you come from?
You know what? I've never actually freaking named my starting town. I should do that. All right.
Okay. Or just, where were you before this? You know what I mean?
Alright. Oh. We have... We're basically just wandering this section. This is very new to us.
That explains why you don't know what's going on. If you don't mind me, the blunt question, do you have weapons? Do you have armor? Do you have vehicles?
We have enough to protect ourselves, yes.
How much is that? She says.
Al will pause slightly and say, a good amount.
A good amount. She says, you'll stay the night before heading off anywhere else?
Al will
You'll stay the night here in Flint?
Al will actually say, just one second. And then he'll turn to the others and he'll say, If you guys are willing, I'd love to stay the night, if nothing else, to at least offer some medical care to these people if they need it.
Sure.
I'm hungry.
I'll keep the behemoth safe. I'll stay at the behemoth.
Oh, no, I would be treating them in the infirmary of the Behemoth. I'm sure it's got better facilities than what they have here, I would assume, anyway.
All right.
Patrick?
Shoot. If you can give me a minute, I need to think this through.
Okay.
Alrighty. So Mila, I assume is fine as long as there's food involved?
Yeah. Grumbly tummy.
Yeah.
Well, the food here, unfortunately, is for
Oh, I was
these
just-
refugees.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
assuming we would just feed her from something on the Behemoth.
Mila's like kind of like grumbling under her breath, like looking at the eating people.
Yes, those lucky, lucky people.
Yeah.
Oh, Mila.
Pull off my everything.
Sorry. I know you're not talking to me, but I felt like saying it.
He's not sorry. You do not apologize for him.
Okay. Here. All right. Still thinking there, Piff?
Okay, this is a situation. All right.
Yeah. If you want to think more, I can input just a little bit
Go
of
for it.
what I was thinking of doing. Okay. I'm going to straight up, as soon as we get back to the Behemoth, because of what she was asking about, I'm going to make sure that all these storage supplies and everything are all locked up. Make sure we are the only ones that can like access them easily. You know what I mean?
Right. Out of character, I am thinking she is looking more for protection for the night, but I don't think that's a bad idea. Yes. Like, I was thinking that was more of a, you have weapons and guns, you're staying here so that we're protected. Let's say, so you have guns. But like I said,
Well-
there's no reason not to be safe.
It's better.
Yes.
Tom's a bit paranoid, okay?
If nothing else, if we're going to be treating people in the infirmary, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Is people are going to be coming in and out of the Behemoth, which
Yeah.
So, are you guys going to be staying the night? That's the big question, because
Yeah.
we're still in conversation with this
Yes,
lady, right?
Right.
I actually
would
have one question for deciding. I guess I'll have this in character.
Okay.
Where did all of these people come from?
Greencastle. A place a scant 50 miles away. They made the long trek after their revolution failed. They're shattered and they're here now.
Oh. And then Patrick will agree to stay the night.
Okay. So you guys are going to be spending the night here, right? So you can answer in the affirmative to her?
Correct.
yes.
Okay. And she'll be like, would you be willing to have a meeting with me and some of my friends tonight? Say around 9 o'clock. I think I can get us all together.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would have a request, though.
Mm-hmm.
I am a doctor, and I have fairly decent medical facilities on board my transportation. As overcrowded as you guys are, there have to be people with injuries. Is it possible to send ones that need medical care that you don't have the resources to take care of to me?
I appreciate you wishing to share your resources to help the downtrodden. We do have some doctors and those medically trained in the town. We have looked over and helped the worst of those who are injured. Of course, that's not to say that everyone is without injury, but honestly, I'll tell you two things. The first, the biggest problem here is hunger. If you were to share your food, it'd be very much appreciated. But, and she pauses for a moment, she says, you have to understand that with the exception of a few of these individuals, they're all scared human beings. And although I have nothing against you, sir, you were not born on Earth. And some individuals are fearful and distrustful of non-humans. Even if you were to open your doors openly and warmly, I would not expect many people to come.
Al would smile and spread his hands and say, helping one person is better than none.
Agreed. And speaking with you makes me very, very hopeful that you will attend this meeting. It is at my home, and she'll give you directions in town where to find it. And she says, please come. I promise you it is not a trick or a trap. It is simply, I just would like to have a conversation.
Al, for his part at least, will nod.
Patrick will follow suit.
Okay. So, how do you guys spend? I said it was a little after dinner, so you got about 3 hours or so before the meeting. How do you guys want to spend it?
Tom is going to not reply to her request to meet there.
Okay.
I'm just putting that out there because this seems way too fishy for him. After that, are there any shops in this town, or?
There are, if for those of you who wish to explore, there is of course, a general store as well for general trade goods. There seems to be a mechanics stall as well, but on the stall, there's a new sign that was put up that says something to the effect of citizens only, repairs for citizens only at present. Like the town, I mean, I can go into details of all the little shops here, but honestly, I don't want to spend the next 10 minutes just rhyming off a list. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for, or services that you require?
Me specifically, I would like a tailor.
There isn't really a tailor here,
Shit.
unfortunately.
Okay.
The general store does sell some goods, but an individual who can specially make clothes for an individual, you don't see a tailor, storefront.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the general store might have some clothes?
Yeah, most definitely.
All right. I'll go and try and get some clothes then.
Okay. You do notice people there are polite, if a little strained. They're kind of surprised to find travelers. They're happy for it. Although you have noticed this compared to shopping in Parents Post and New Laszlo, and even the town of Fenton, these prices are astronomical. They're like 4 times the price what they have been in other places.
Yeah.
So like a pair of pants is like 150 freaking credits.
Yeah, screw that. I'm good.
All right. When you leave, the staff there is disappointed, but they're not really flexible on their prices. What they do is they give you platitudes of like, oh, you look like you could afford it. We accept trade goods as well. We don't require really universal credits. In fact, we actually would prefer trade instead. But if you still say no, they're not going to push you.
No, I'm gonna say no.
Okay. All right.
Anyone else need anything from here?
Actually,
we can
yes.
skip ahead to the meeting, or you probably also want to do some. Yeah. Anyways,
Well,
keep going.
Yeah, there were 2 things. Actually, one thing I would be very interested in, even if it is expensive, any sort of jumper. Something with a
Jumper?
hood on it. Like like eventually I'd want Al to have this as a main outfit, but obviously we haven't been able to purchase clothes lately. Something that he would have like a hoodie. Like a hoodie is what what I was saying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be fair enough. That'd be good traveling fare. 120 credits.
He would basically ask, since Tom was going that direction, he would basically, given what he was just told, ask Tom to look for such a thing, and that price wasn't an issue. He needs it if he's going to be helping people.
Sure, I'll grab it.
Okay.
Although I will stress the fact that I do have like 9 pairs of cloaks.
Oh,
With
wait,
hoods?
no, then never mind. Can I borrow one of yours?
Uh-huh.
You can.
Yeah.
I have 9 silk robes in green, blue, purple, and red. Choose one.
Green, please.
Green?
Green, please.
There you go. I
Um,
now
boy.
have 8.
To make it easier, Inferno, on everyone, instead of like bringing everyone to the behemoth who wants to come, I
Yeah,
think Al would.
we can step back and speak in things in general terms.
Al's just going to put together a first aid type kit, kind of a general all first aid type kit, and then go among the refugees and basically say, with the hood up, I'm a doctor. Is there anyone who, it has ailments, something I can help with? And basically just try and treat whoever needs it and is willing, and hopefully the hood will help.
Maybe. Roll me a D100.
Sure.
You're able to help 4 people.
Okay.
One of them notices this slender. 3 of them are cordial. 2 of them themselves are DBs, actually. But they look like they don't look like alien DBs. They look like they were like unfortunate people who had some sort of like genetic mutation type of DBs. One person, the last person that you serve, that you help out, notices, takes a glimpse at your pointy ears because your face is thinner as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear them mutter. It's a young woman who said something like, "If I knew a DB put his hands on me, I would have said no," type of thing. But other than that, that's the worst of it.
All right. Al will simply act like he didn't hear it, be as polite and cordial as always, and smile and tell her, I don't know, like whatever, keep off the foot until it heals, or take this twice a day, whatever.
That's the other thing. I guess I should probably just, in general terms, describe their injuries. They all look like, all of them look like they have been some sort of bladed weapon that pretty much the problem is that things have healed over for them. They've been cut, but they haven't healed over very well. There was like late stages of infection, or the stitches were put in poorly. Things like that. It's more like mismanaged care than like open wounds.
Okay,
Make
so
sense?
it would be a lot of taking stitches out and doing them correctly, or disinfecting. Okay, so then he would act like he didn't hear it at all. He'd be as cheerful and polite as possible and say, if you can, here's some extra bandages, change it twice a day.
Okay, cool. Excellent. All right. Anyone else? Would you like, I mean, we can, if you guys have those who choose to attend the meeting, we can jump ahead to that. Is there anything, though, in character you guys would like to do?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think Patrick, would look for any sort of electronic shop.
Oof. There was, now this is interesting. There is a shop that normally that dealt with, for lack of a better word, electronics or machines or mechanic shop, appliances, that sort of thing. It has been boarded up, however, and there's a sign in front of it that says, closed by order of Elder Trader Abram until further notice.
Elder Trader Abram.
Yep. All right. So if you like, we can go ahead to this little meeting here if you guys are down with it.
I do just want to point out, if Tom's okay with it, you're going to find that Al is extremely becoming attached to this cloak. Hood up or down, it seems like he is going to be wearing it forever.
I have 8.
Okay, just making sure. It looks very elfish.
Heads up, cloak mine now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so who's all
Seriously, write it down on your
Okay,
inventory.
we'll do. I'm definitely coming.
I'm staying at the Behemoth with Alicia, Bear, and the rest of the NPCs, if at all possible.
coming? Okay.
Important question though. Are
Yeah.
we restricted any sort of weapon-wise?
No, you're not. Except when you get to the door, Miss Deanna Straw, the one that you spoke with, does ask you to leave your weapons at the door,
All
just
right,
to be respectful of her house.
Okay. My neuroblades I would want tucked away somewhere. So,
Sure.
is it like if I put my pistol and rifle down, she doesn't press the issue? Am I gonna have to roll a check or something? Or
Yeah, actually, roll concealment
all right,
because you're
I
sneaking
should
the
do
weapon past her.
all right. Let's see here.
Okay, Mila's staying. Mila's AFK, so she's staying at the Behemoth.
All right. So, that does it. 44 under 44.
Okay, well, she doesn't say anything.
Okay.
All right. So it looks like
I-
Patrick and Al.
Yeah, I'm going to place down. I just go through all the weaponry I have. I'm gonna be
You
placing
don't
down.
have to go through all. Are you keeping anything? Are you concealing anything?
I am keeping the magic glove, magic ring, and camera taser.
Awesome.
And hand pick.
Okay. Hand pick. Okay, yeah, she won't have a problem with the hand pick. The rest, she won't be able to identify as weapons. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Sorry, it's just I want to save you the time from listing all your weapons here. You know what I mean? Like it'll be like a comedic scene of like open up the cloak and like 1,000 things are coming out. you know?
Everything is like strapped to my back, basically.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Oh God, I say fair enough so much. Anyway, so her home is a simple abode. It's a single story. It looks to be a little bit nicer and better kept than the other buildings in the neighborhood. It's not necessarily opulent, but it is well made, sturdy, and of good quality. She lets you into the room, into her home, which smells faintly of rose petals, oddly enough. And she leads the two of you to to, I guess, her dining room, for lack of a better word, in which she has a large round table, sturdy, made of oak, that has six chairs around it, and has it. This is just a complete coincidence, because they were going to have to find more chairs if more people showed up. But 3 other individuals are sitting at the table. And she takes a seat and she gestures for you to sit down. And I'll just do a very, very brief description of the other individuals around the table. And I'll give you just an introduction of their name because they'd be introducing themselves. These are all elder traders. The first one is Tyler. He is a man of Asian descent, we'll just say. Kind of slender, wiry, big brown, sad eyes. The other one is Abram Osborne. He is an African-American man who has a very, very short, curly hair that grays around the ears itself. Very, very strong jaw. His wife, Elder Trailer Fatima, she is also there. She is in a long blue dress that has mud caked around the bottom of it. She also is wearing these sturdy fur boots. She also is African American, and she is the sternest looking of the group. So as you sit down, Deanna Straw gives some introductions, and Fatima says, "So you called us here to meet with these 2 people?" And Deanna says, "Oh, no, there are more. They're just in their vehicle right now." Abram says, Oh, yeah. That's the big robot trailer out there, right? That's yours?
Yes, it's a behemoth.
Behemoth. Good name. Can't say I really saw that model before, but looks pretty sturdy. And Tyler, the Asian American gentleman, just kind of gives a bit of a nod. Deanna says she first addresses the rest of her other three companions, and she says, "I know this isn't necessarily what. Well, we were talking about this, and I thought I saw an opportunity. They were going to go to Greencastle, so I brought it here." And Fatima says, "Okay, that's fine, Deanna. That's all right. I know it wasn't your plan, but thanks anyway." She looks to the rest of you and she says, "I take it you don't know much about this area."
And
Very-
Patrick's going to be shaking his head no.
Yeah, very
Okay.
little.
Well, I guess first we should probably fill you in. We are, of course, the town of Flint, and nearby is the kingdom of Greencastle, ruled by a queen named Marjorie Crichton. She used to be a fair, good woman, but she has clearly started to slip, mentally and physically. And it is our belief that she is not really fit to rule. At this point, Abram, her husband, pipes up and he says, the biggest problem is her son, the Prince Jasper Crichton. He is, for lack of a better word, a monster in human skin. He is ruthless and cruel and mean and exploitive. Over the years, Greencastle and Flint used to have a good relationship, a very good relationship. We were major traders to one another. But ever since Queen Marjorie started to slip mentally, the more power Prince Jasper had, and the more cruel he became, until rumors had gotten so bad that we started a trade embargo. And then Abram looks compassionately over to Tyler, who hasn't said a single thing, and he says, maybe they should know about your firsthand experience. Tyler gives a slow, thoughtful nod. His big brown eyes look to the both of you, and he says, "A year and a half ago, I wanted to break the embargo. Everyone was suffering, and it wasn't doing anything. No behavior was changing. So I decided to embark in a diplomatic mission. I invited Prince Jasper to my home to treat him to some kindness, to maybe break the ice and create a dialogue between our two towns again." Prince Jasper came with his entourage, and they drank heavily, and they ate, and things seemed to be going well. I didn't know, but apparently Prince Jasper enjoys music, and he asked for my daughter-in-law, or my daughter-in-law-to-be. She was my son's fiancée. He asked her to, she could play the violin, you see, and he asked for a private concert in his room. I was very suspicious, but I was desperate for things to stop. So with a few eyes on the room to make sure nothing would happen, she went in there to play her fiddle. He raped her, and he beat her to death with that same fiddle. And then when my son discovered her body, he killed him as well. Prince Jasper dared me to do something. He dared me to attack him, to justify his men, he and his men, to lay waste to the town and destroy it as much as they wanted. He looked at me with cold eyes, and I was afraid, and I let him go. And with that, things get a heavy silence falls around the ground.
Al would, after some time, say, "While I can certainly sympathize with your situation, I don't exactly understand what you would intend for us."
Abram pauses for a moment. And he says, I brought her. And he's not saying that to you. He's saying that to Deanna Straw. Deanna says, okay. All right. Yeah, maybe that'll be enough. Abram then looks to you and he says, we will give you a proposition, perhaps a negotiation, but there's one last thing I think you should see to really give you an idea of who this Prince Jasper is. Is that all right by you?
You can do what you want to. I'm not going to stop you.
Okay. And Fatima stands up. Her stern gaze softens a little bit as she goes to the next room and brings a woman in a wooden wheelchair. She herself looks to be also of Asian descent. She is dressed in... They tried to give her as nice clothes as possible, but they hang off of her skinny, frail, thin form. Her arms are gone. Her legs are gone. And she cannot speak for herself, for her tongue is also gone. As Fatima says from above the wheelchair, she says, 4 months ago, the peasants, well, that's not a fair thing to call them. The citizens, the people, the hard workers of Greencastle staged a revolt. Her husband led it, and she has come to us with her limbs hacked off by Prince Jasper himself with a vibro blade. It was a total massacre. If we were to offer you a very well-paying job, would you be open to it?
Al would look at the girl in the wheelchair for a long time and then lean back and sigh and then say, "That depends. I don't exactly understand what you intend, but I've been around enough to know those looks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an assassin, nor can I lead a revolt. What exactly did you bring us here to talk about?"
Fatima says, plainly, we need assassins. She gets back to the... She doesn't leave the woman's side. As Abram picks up, wait, well, no, kind of more mercenaries, I suppose, for this job, maybe. And Fatima says, no, don't sugarcoat it. We want him to kill Prince Jasper. We need assassins. But we were talking, and obviously we don't want you to storm Greencastle and just kill the man in his own place. That would be a suicide mission, right? And at this point, Tyler pipes up again, his quavering voice strengthening a little bit. He goes, Prince Jasper likes to hunt. Prince Jasper goes on a month-long hunt into the woods with his little entourage of men. He's far away from his walls. He's there now, in fact. He'll be there for another 2 weeks. Well, 15 days, really. 14 by tomorrow. If you have enough weapons, I reckon you could stop him there and then. No one knows who you are. You're travelers, right?
Al will, and by the way, Piff, if you want to say anything, you're more than welcome to jump in.
I have plenty of things to say out of character. In character, Patrick is looking to you.
Al will say, see, that's the issue, isn't it? We're new here. He will actually get up and non-threateningly go to the woman in the wheelchair and kind of kneel down and say, I do not mean to sound harsh or cruel, and it is obvious that you have gone through a great ordeal. But all we have is your word, and on that alone, you want us to
Sorry. Oh, God. Sorry, something just scared me. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, you just scared the shit out of me.
I'm so sorry. A fucking spider crawled across my keyboard.
Oh no, that would scare the shit out of me.
I thought the lady in the wheelchair jumped at me.
No, because I don't want. Okay, sorry. Back on it. Please
Yeah.
continue.
Al would say, you want me to end someone's life when I've never met them. I know nothing about them other than what you say, and you seem like honest people, but it's just one side of the story, and you want me to end someone's life based off of...
You cut out there for a second.
Basically, Al will say, you have to understand, you want me to give someone the ultimate penalty to end someone's life with no evidence other than what you've told me.
She looks to you, her eyes, her face is scrunched up, and she can't even say anything, and her lips are smacking together, and she looks over to Fatima, and she starts shaking in her chair as if she wants to be moved towards the table, in which Fatima gets up and moves her towards the wooden table. And she looks at the pen next to Abram's side, and she points to it with her head. All right? And he picks it up for a moment, and Fatima takes it from him, and she puts it in the woman's mouth and slides a piece of paper that was in front of Abram in front of her. And you can see her scrawl out with spittle falling down the pencil as well, a simple message that says, total massacre. And she looks at it, and she looks at you, and her eyes are filled with fear and hatred and pain.
Al is quiet again for a very long time, and his face isn't unsympathetic. And he... a very different, I guess, changing from what Al used to be. He kind of shakes his head a little bit and goes back to sit back down and says kind of quietly, it's always about revenge.
It's not about revenge. Don't you see, Tyler speaks out, if we don't do anything, they will go to war with us. We have been stockpiling everything we have for the inevitable clash. If you can kill him, Do you have any idea how many lives you'll save? We'll give you everything we would have stockpiled to fight them. We'll give you fucking everything. You think this is a fiction? You think we just willed those refugees out of nowhere?
And Al will actually get upset. No, I think that you want me to murder someone. And that takes an extraordinary amount of evidence to ask someone to do the ultimate thing. Do not take this lightly. Do not act like it would be an easy thing to convince me to end someone's life.
Fatima shakes her head. She's like, I'm sorry, Deanna, you brought the wrong people. Deanna nods. She says, I don't know if it was really the best plan anyway. Well, if you won't do it, regardless of pay, if you can... Fine. Go to Greencastle, she says. Fatima says, clearly. Deanna says you're going to go that way? Go there. And see for yourself.
Piff, out of character.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, out of character. Lots of thinking. I definitely think these people are telling the truth. That
Agreed.
is not even like a question,
Mhm.
unless there's a giant ruse. Second thing, killing the guy might not still be the best thing
Agreed.
to actually have happen. This is a power struggle, and killing a person of absolutely horrid nature and things like that may not fix the underlying problem. So it's more of like, yeah, we could kill him, but now there is sort of this, like, there's still a hole to fill, that there's still going to be riots and things like that if this is an order structure sort of thing. On top of that, it does look like these guys are refugees, that war seems to be the best answer for them. If there was a better one, the thing to try to know most would be the step 2 after that, specifically who would take throne, or a new sort of order system like a council or something like that. Because if you just kill the leader, there's going to be a whole bunch of warriors and things like that that could either go to revenge, or really kind of do what they will, because they've already been under this particular structure of a tyrant, and I don't think... They seem to be following orders, and for probably a lot of people there, they're going to continue having that sort of mindset. I'm not saying, like, good 50%, I'm saying, like, even if it was a good 20, you're going to have a hard time on your hands.
People who weren't in on the meeting conversation, because really, you guys can keep talking about it, but if you're not going to help them, then the meeting's over, and then you guys can just talk about what you guys want to do.
Oh,
but
I never said we weren't going to help them. Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, then never mind. Then just keep discussing. Keep discussing.
Well, I would say this though. I'm still fine with out of character people talking, because this is not a decision Piff and I would make right there.
No.
Period.
No.
Yeah. Without the group's input.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you here, Bern?
Oh yes.
Okay.
My net disconnected because we had lightning and thunder and stuff. But anyways, I I want to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
could-
have been listening to
Oh, yeah.
Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash this entire time.
Oh.
I can tell you guys where Al is. Like, Al's kind of struggling a little bit because he's trying so hard to step away from what he once was, in a sense, and now he's being asked to do exactly what he was trained to do.
That
And
makes you qualified.
yeah, it makes him very qualified. But it also, just like Patrick said, it makes him very qualified in the sense that there's always two sides to the story. Look, you're asking me to kill the man, but but on B, killing him may not be the best action. But Al's point of view is he is on the inside burning, incredibly pissed. He wants whoever did this to suffer. But the rational side of him is, I'm not going to murder a man just because you throw circumstantial, which is as harsh as it sounds, is all
That
he's
is-
getting.
sounds really fucking harch, dude.
I know, but it is. It's true.
I admire your character rationalization, but you have balls of steel telling the chopped off, mouthless woman that I'm sure you're suffering, but we got to find both. Like it makes a lot of logical sense, but you understand her reaction. Too,
Of course
right?
I do. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. But but the truth of the matter is that if you're going to ask someone to kill someone in cold blood, you better be ready for that kind of reaction. But no, here's the thing. Al, if he can be convinced on board, like right now, my thought is, let's go talk to this guy. And if this guy is the asshole he really thinks he is, Al will slit his throat and walk away and not lose any sleep over it. But he's not going, he's like, his thing is like, but I don't want to do that unless I'm 100%.
See, here's
Yeah.
the thing. Here's the thing. My character would not know this unless you brought it up. But me as a player really, really would like to stumble upon this, hunting cadre. And this guy likes music, right? So Tom would be playing his guitar and doing Johnny
He
Cash.
didn't seem to like
Burning Ring of
music.
Fire.
I don't know.
Oh,
And then he would light them on fire with his mind and stuff because that's what he really wants to do.
Well, here's actually I was actually thinking something of the same. Is that I was going to in character. I was going to I'll do that in character. But the idea is, look, Al would never, ever, ever do something like this for money because there's lines. If he does this, he's going to do it because it's the right thing to do. And basically, it was kind of an idea of, tell me where he is. I will go see for myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we were to do this, I would be of the opinion they're already suffering. I don't want any of their stuff. I don't need it. We're fine by ourselves right now.
But
Maybe
but that
some food would be nice. But other than that, yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, that's my thoughts, and then we'd basically go back to the behemoth and basically and then from there we can really decide what to do because we're not really getting paid or anything. We're just going to tell them that. So yeah, Piff, are you ready to go back into character?
Sure.
All right, then Al would say like the last thing they said was you got the wrong people. Al would calm down a bit and say, actually, we're exactly the kind of people you need. Maybe not the people you want. I do not mean to sound harsh, and nor am I unsympathetic to your plight. But just hiring an assassin or an unthinking mercenary will get you nowhere.
It will
Tell
get
me
us
where-
everywhere.
Tell me where this man is. I will see for myself, and if he is the monster you say he is, I will leave him dead in the forest and walk away, and you will never have to pay a cent.
Oh, they look to each other, and it's finally Fatima, the one who speaks, and she shrugs, and she's like, fine. I don't believe a word that you're going to say, but there's no heart telling you where he hunts. And she gives you the location. She says, there's a large strip of woods that goes for about 10 miles long and 30 miles deep. We call it the Gilded Forest. I don't know what the people in Greencastle calls it, but he calls it his hunting ground. Go there, find him. But you'll be treated as game. That's what I'm guessing, she says.
Al,
So hopefully you don't come with open eyes and a smile and that warm, understanding look of yours, because he'll shoot it off.
Al's face transforms almost entirely to one that is incredibly, incredibly cold and serious. And he will look straight at the girl in the wheelchair and he will say, forgive me if I sounded harsh. If you're telling the truth, you have nothing to worry about. You'll find his body or mine. And with that, he will get up and he will start walking away, gather his weapons, and
Okay.
Patrick will do the same.
All right. All right, we'll end that scene there then. Okay. Discuss.
So we get back to the behemoth.
Mhm.
Guess what we were talking about? Yeah, so I guess Al and Patrick would relate. I mean, I'm not going to hide anything. I would tell them everything that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Although although that was a really nice in character moment, saying like I'm gonna find out and he'll be dead if what you're saying is true, right?
Yeah, no, this is not like take that simply for role play for what Al would have said,
exactly.
not
I
choice
have
for the
now
group.
committed the entire party
Exactly.
without their said so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, groovy.
That's just an Al thing. But no,
Okay.
yeah. So what do we want to do?
Well, you have a lot of options. I'll probably detail them in the next synopsis, right?
Mhm.
But it's definitely looking Greencastle way, if I had to guess, because the only cyberdoc that can even be close to help to James T is in Greencastle, right?
Yep.
Prince Jasper's in that way. I mean, it's still not going where Tyrath wanted you, but he didn't really give you a time period, right?
Yeah, you didn't.
So, he did?
He did not.
Oh, he did not. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
What? But yeah, the question is whether you guys want to do this. I know Mila likes to just go where everyone else goes, right? But Kriana, the player, probably has some opinions on it.
Kiana, what you want to do? Huh?
I actually no, I'm in the same mindset of Mila. I'm just going along with whatever you guys want. I'm happy to do whatever.
All right.
This doesn't change my mind one way or the other.
Would this
Okay.
change anything? What would Nora want to do?
What would Nora want to do? Oh, she just want to fucking do what Tyrath does or wants us to do and just get over with. Get that can of worms settled. So, but Nora's not here, so and I don't care. Fuck Nora.
That's funny. Okay, well, maybe I think we'll end this session then. I love how we started this session of like, you guys have a decision to make. Like 4 hours later, guess what?
You guys have another one.
Slightly different decision, but that's okay. That's fine.
All right. Well, we'll stop here and we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.